OK, let's turn our attentions to the Mirror then, because they've gone with War Games, and this is all about young Adam Wharton potentially going to Manchester United. They want to splash the cash and get Adam Wharton from Crystal Palace. I mean, great idea, because he's a great player, isn't he?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Proving himself for England as well.
Yeah, and there's a strange situation at the moment where you've got Adam Wharton and Elliot Anderson, two superb talents, young England players, outside of the big clubs. So there's clearly talent to be had if you're among the big six, as it were. I think for United it makes a lot of sense, because midfield has been, for me, their biggest weakness, really going back even to the end of the Fergie era. They never really replaced the Scholes, Carrick midfield. They've never been able to control games in the middle of the pitch in the way that a big club should be able to do. They've papered over the cracks with different solutions. I think it's been the worst part of Ruben Amorim's football, has just been this absence in midfield. It's partly the formation, but it's partly just not having players that can take the ball and control the game and play a pass. And Adam Wharton's, you know, he stands out among young England players, among English midfielders we've seen in the last 10, 15 years, just because of his almost Spanish-style skills in that regard. So I can see how he would be perfect for them, but I can imagine they won't be the only club looking at him. No,
it'll be interesting. I mean, he missed out, didn't he, in the last camp for England, which perhaps, you know, he was proving a point to Thomas Tuchel in terms of his performances for Crystal Palace just recently. Is that somewhere where you feel that Manchester United, as Jonathan was saying, really need to strengthen? Looking at Liverpool last season, it was almost their midfield, wasn't it, that won them the Premier League? Is that something that they really need to strengthen?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think they've been really poor in midfield for quite a while. Also, I think they're especially poor because the system that he wants to play with only two men in the middle, like obviously there's a lot of onus on those guys to do a lot of running. And I think compared to basically almost all the other big Premier League teams, they look really poor in there physically. So I think they definitely need more energy, more fresh legs than that. And I think Wharton's an amazing player. I think he's probably the closest England has produced to a kind of Michael Carrick type player in the last 20 years. So I think, and he definitely looks like somebody who could easily make the step up to any team in the country.
Yeah, Charlie, is that something you agree with in terms of the fact that they're talking about Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro could be the ones that go?
I think he'd fit in brilliantly. I mean, it's an interesting one with Wharton, though, because I mean, it strikes me that Tuchel doesn't necessarily fancy him.
Why do you think that is?
And I don't know. I mean, he's only played once for England, and when he announced his latest squad, Tuchel said he spoke about the players that he called to say that he's not in the squad. It's interesting that Kyle Walker wasn't one of them. Yeah, and he named Wharton. So obviously he's in his thoughts, but I still think he would have been in the squad now. Yeah, it's curious, a player that good.
I picked that up too, that he's a little bit lukewarm, isn't he? I think he's sort of dabbling in Adam Wharton rather than sort of really going for him. I think it might just be dynamism. I think Tuchel seems to like the Declan Rice profile of that kind of, really, really athletic midfielder. I think another thing with Wharton is the system, isn't it? He obviously plays in a similar system at Palace, and this may be a sign of further backing Ruben Amorim, of committing to the system and trying to get more and more players who understand how to play it. And he's a really, really bright kid, Adam Wharton. I mean,
he's still so young as well, 21.
Someone can make sense of it, he would.
Yeah.